All right, everybody. Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, and I'm here to introduce to you the one and only, the great Mark Bowersox, for the president of MHI. How are you, Mark?
I am very overinflated with that nice intro that you gave me.
Well, hey,
That's
man, you,
generous.
you do a great job. I'll tell you this much. I know we've had a working relationship for almost the better part of a year since we formally met. We've been working on a lot of things together, so I've learned a lot from you, and that's why I admit I truly believe you do great things in the industry and truly want to help out. And because of that, we wanted to bring you on real quick because you're going to be with us in Orlando. We're putting on live events now where we're bringing not just training, but more of a networking type of atmosphere where people are going to come in. They're going to learn whether they're sales consultants on the retail side or community people. Really, the way I talk about this, I we just want anybody in the industry to come in and just be a part of this, get something out of it, right? That they can take back with them. But at the same time, start to build that network within the industry. And so now having you join us down in Orlando is going to be great. So with that being said, from what we've discussed up until now, what are your thoughts on what somebody would benefit out of an event like this?
Um, wow, there's several different levels, right? Um, Engagement, networking, education, professional development, all these things. It's tough to write an agenda sometimes. Look, and MHI puts on meetings, right? We do several different meetings in at various sizes in various locations around the country. And it's pretty rare to have someone come up to me at the end of the meeting and say, the best part of your meeting was what you listed on the agenda, right? Because that doesn't sell, and you're gonna teach people how to sell a little bit, right? But I can list a workshop or an educational topic or something like that, and invariably the best part about it is the person they met and the connections they made and the off-topic discussions that really got to the heart of what's bothering them in their business, right? And there's huge value in that. It's really tough to quantify and qualify and market and put fancy words around. But to me, that's huge value of in-person networking and learning is being with your peers, meeting other people who are key players in the industry that have experiences and expertise that are very similar, but also sometimes different than yours.
You know what? You hit the nail on the head right there because with the previous event that we did in Scottsdale like a few weeks ago, that's exactly what wound up happening is we had people from different companies. And like I had mentioned to you, that first they were kind of it was an awkward moment at first where they didn't know how to react. We've got somebody from another company that does what we
Sure.
do. But as we went along and they started engaging and they started sharing ideas and thoughts and hey, you know what, I've run across that situation before, this is what we did to overcome that, it really helps everyone get a fresh perspective on things and realize that we all do the same thing and we all are serving the markets and there's more than enough out there. Let's do this the right way. And like you said, yeah, the information is great, but what's even better is the camaraderie and the interaction of being able to bounce ideas off of each other. So I love that you mentioned that. And with that said, MHI, MHEI, and Manufactured Home Sales Mastery have kind of worked together on putting together now the revamped professional housing consultant certification course. We're almost about complete with that thing, and that's why we're even more excited to have you join us in Orlando and share some thoughts, your perspective on the industry and other things. So, you talked about professionalism. How do you feel that these events add to the professionalism that someone can offer to their clients?
Well, again, it's not a short list. There's any number of different ways, right? I think a big part of it is, what you can bring to the table is there are certain times that there is a right and there is a wrong, right? there are things you can say in the sales process from a legal perspective. There are things you can't say in the sales process from a legal perspective. Pay no attention to the motorcade going down our office street here. If you can hear the sirens coming. So there's real clear instruction, right? And you can read a book and get that black and white kind of information, legal or not. And then there's a whole lot of that gray area, right? Professional development, how to engage with people, how to represent yourself, your company, and the industry well. All those kinds of things you learn from, experience, quite honestly. I've made plenty of those types of mistakes where I said the wrong thing, the wrong thing at the right time is still the wrong thing. So, rubbing shoulders with people and talking about past experiences and, whether it's, this is how I handled an eviction in my community, or this is how I handled a sales opportunity when one spouse was on site and the other spouse didn't bother to show up. Any number of different scenarios and role playing and sharing past experiences is really what helps people sharpen each other, I think.
Yeah, that's true. And there's going to be plenty of role playing. There's going to be plenty of going over marketing. There's going to be a lot of deep dive into the whole psychology of sales so that we can help people operate at a different level and be not just more professional, but just more in tune with what's going on in the market today. That's been a huge thing that we hear as we travel across the country working with whether it's community or retailers is people aren't making the decisions as quickly as they used to. But the great thing about it is they're still making a decision, right? They're still buying. We see the numbers are overall year over year still higher. And so we want to do our part. And that's what this event's about. And we're excited to have you join us, down there in Orlando, July 18th and 19th. For those of you that are thinking about coming out here and checking it out, Mark's going to be there. Come on by. Be sure to be here for day one on the 18th for sure. And we're going to have him come up and share some words and some wisdom of Mr. Mark Bowersox.
You're blowing me up again, but no, I am looking forward to it. I appreciate the opportunity to come down and quite honestly learn something myself. I always do. I spend some time traveling around to various meetings, and the intention, I think, of the person inviting me is that I'm going to share some wisdom, but there's always things that I take away from the audience and from those similar interactions too. So I appreciate the invite, appreciate our partnership, and I appreciate what you're doing for the industry.
Thank you, sir. Likewise, and we're going to continue growing on this, folks. So don't forget, go ahead and click on the link that's on here. Get your tickets right now, the discounted rate. You can get in there July 18th and 19th. Come be with us in Orlando, and let's all not just get better, but let's have a great time while we're at it. Mark, thanks very much for joining me.
Of course.
Look forward to seeing you down there in a few weeks, and we'll keep going from there, sir. You have a great day.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Cool. All right, sir. Well, I appreciate it.
You're so good at this. This is you found your calling in life, haven't you? That's why you do it all the time. You get up in the morning, you're like, I get to do this again.
Well, I get to do another video. I get to interview somebody.
I love it. Get to fire it up, turn on the lights and the
That's
camera,
right.
and let's have some action.
Let's go. Let's go. So, all right, man. Well, I appreciate it. And we'll talk again as we get closer.
Yep. Yeah. Just when you get closer, just figure out what you need from me. And
Okay.
if you want me to sing and dance or just sing or just dance, I'm
You can do
multi-talented.
whatever you want. Whatever you want, man.
It's
all
your show,
yours.
brother.
Yeah. We'll figure it all out and we'll get together. And while we're there, we'll plan out some other stuff.
Look forward to it.
Sounds great. Likewise.
All right.
Have a good one,
Take
sir.
care of yourself. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.